So today I'm going to be comparing Kale and Broly from the most recent episode, Dragon Ball Super 93. We got to see a lot more similarities with Broly in regards of Kale, obviously, even more so than what I would have expected. And I was going to do this comparison regardless, but Chris at Sukento on Twitter had tweeted out, and I saw this on Twitter, obviously, a little bit of a selection of comparison images that we're going to take a little bit of a look at today, and I'm going to add some stuff as well. So give him a follow. I'll leave that Twitter down below. I've seen he tweets some pretty cool stuff, so I gave him a follow. But these images really do bring a little bit more light to the situation, I guess, if you want to call it a situation. It just really shows how much of a comparison, how much of a callback it really is to Broly. And I think that it might be a little bit too much, but obviously here with this first image, the first thing you notice is, I don't really need to explain it. She's powering up, but it might look very familiar to another image. You know, obviously this scene with Broly, very, very similar. Not quite the same. It is a bit different. But goddamn, that image of Broly looks good. So incredibly well detailed there. And here's a shot of both of them side by side. You know, you can really see it is definitely a callback in this situation. It's kind of thinking like, okay, well, it's not enough to make it look just like Broly. It's like, well, we need to call back every situation, every key moment that Broly did, so we get the fan base all hyped up. You know, when I saw this one, and Kale's like, you, Cabba, it's just like, that's such a Broly saying Kakarot, like, reference. Like, it's so, it's weird because it's like, did Kale do something, or did Cabba do something to Kale? He says he didn't do anything, so are we gonna find out he did something super stupid? And you know, just as stupid as Goku crying next to Broly, and that's why Broly hates Goku. Again, this is, I think, one of the biggest ones where it's like, okay, the reference is too big now. You didn't need to do the, you, Cabba. Like, we get it, it's Broly. But this is going a little bit overboard, in my opinion. What did you guys think when you saw Kale do that, like, insane Broly reference there? But, you know, aside from a different angle, obviously, look, it's like the same exact thing, you know. It even adds dialogue that's the same thing, and, you know, that dialogue's actually added in later where Kale saying it was something like, she says, my energy is rising, overflowing, is pretty much the same thing Broly had said in the first film. Now, granted, I didn't notice this one exactly right out of the gate. I did notice, obviously, when the pictures were on Twitter, but you can obviously see the comparison here. It's not really fooling anybody, but it's not something that caught my eye like the other ones. Like, I instantly remembered it or recognized the reference to Broly. You know, as far as these actual images that, you know, are on Twitter go, this is kind of the last one where I see like that exact comparison. The last two here are, you know, maybe a little bit iffy, I guess. But here, you know, Kale's going there at Cabba, just like Broly had done against Gohan. It's just weird how, like, specific they got with, like, specific, I would even say some throwaway scenes, some throwaway action scenes that maybe aren't too iconic to the Broly films. It's interesting to see that they would make, like, add this one as a comparison. I mean, it's pretty clear that it's a reference. It's not like an accident, I don't think. Maybe it is, who knows. And, you know, these last two, I'm just going to throw these up on screen as they are. This first one, obviously, it's just two mountains being crushed in, I guess. You know, maybe it's a reference, maybe it's not. It was in the Broly film. It's also in the Super episode, but it's also kind of like just generic destruction, even though, you know, I guess the destruction is done in the same way. And here, at least at a visual perspective, I mean, you could make the argument that this isn't really a reference. I mean, it could be, you know, especially considering the stuff we've already seen. It's not 100% accurate, but it's just, you know, they're both exhausted in the picture, so yeah, I guess you could put two and two together there. But overall, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? Because I think there's an excessive amount of references here, and do you think it's overboard, the amount they're doing with Broly and Kale? Do you think it should be downplayed more? I think that the fact that they made her look the same was enough. She even has the same type of ki blast. They look a little bit different, and they have a different sound, but you know how Broly has that very, I guess really you could say it's an iconic sound effect for him when he uses his energy attacks. Kale has the same thing, but it's a different pitch, and it is really kind of a different sound, but it's obviously a reference to what he had done before. So I thought it was cool to look at this. Definitely a fun video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it too. But Kale, damn, Kale still looks like a Dragon Ball Heroes character, you know? It's a little silly. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Do you like Kale? Do you not like Kale's Broly form, I guess? I'm sure there's a lot of people that like Kale's base form, but let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Before I go, you know, YouTube changes its algorithms all the time, and from what I understand, you know, this time one of the big things is it wants people clicking on the bell next to the subscribe button. You know, you've probably heard YouTubers saying it a million times. If you want to get my videos as soon as they come out, click the bell. I hate asking it, but sometimes you need to, because if it's good for the algorithms, it's good for the algorithms, you know? So if you want to see my videos as soon as they come out, hit that bell, because I guess it doesn't really show up in people's feeds if they don't hit it as much. I don't know. I just know what I'm told, and I'm passing it on to you guys, so do with that what you will. And I'll do a little update video in the next coming week. I might start a Discord, so maybe you'll see that in the next week. But other than that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. As always, share your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys later.
You, Kakarot, I choose you to be the first of my victims.